What's going on, guys? It's Assassin, and Ranked was out last weekend. It seemed fun. I mean, Ranked is what everyone's been looking for, but it was only for 8 hours. 8 hours wasn't what anyone wanted. They played it, they enjoyed it. Some people don't have an issue with the time limit, some people do. They asked us what we wanted to have done, provide feedback, and give our point of view about how things should be changed, what should be added, and of course, that information hasn't been exactly addressed immediately. It seems like there's a little bit of a lag time between feedback and then implementation. It's not always a bad thing. I'm sure they're listening, and that is important. Basically, they gave us an update for week 2, and week 2 is very disappointing for a lot of people, myself included, and I don't even really mind the time limit. They're gonna up it to 2 days. They've lowered the requirement to get in. Now, you don't need to be level 30, you can be level 20 with 20 characters. I don't really care all that much, but it's made worse because that is the only change that was made, and if you want to argue that giving an extra day is a change, sure. So they've upped the days, and they've also given people a chance to get in who otherwise might not have been able to. I don't agree with that change, but it's not the biggest problem. But when it's the only change that's really made, it honestly feels really bad. Compounded on all of the other things that were asked for the picking to not be, blind, for us to have more than one pick, to at least be able to show intent of the character they're going to be able to play. There's a long list of other things that could have been added, and I'm no game dev. I have no idea how to build a game. Some of these things, they should have been in the testing from the very beginning, or at least I would think so. That's just my opinion, and I don't think that's too crazy to ask for, considering there's plenty of other MOBAs, even just ranked games, that have these basic features in mind. And I mean, maybe this is just a first step. Maybe there's a different build that's already being worked on and put together that we haven't tested yet. There's a lot of different data and things that we can't see behind the scenes. We don't even really know what they're testing for. It's just a lot of questions without a whole lot of answers. Almost every single reply on the posts for the "what did you think of week 1" is all negative. A lot of people just being like, wow, this sucks. Wow, this sucks. We want to play longer. We want this. We want that. And it's hard to not see the overwhelming negativity, especially when the community manager has to make a post like, hey guys, we're looking to hear your feedback and we do care, and just trust the process. So I want to read what was said because I think it's very important. So Kari, the community manager, the lead community manager, made a post trying to, calm the fires, and this is what she had to say. She said, I think people just need to trust the process a bit more with this one. Game dev is complicated, it's sensitive. So many games fail, studios get closed, and staff get laid off. The only way to give a game the best chance to survive is to be sensible, deliberate, and follow the data. She goes on to say, I'll work on getting a predecessor report out in the coming weeks to discuss this process and other things in more detail. So to anyone in the predecessor community, please drop any questions you have, and I'll see what I can do about getting them answered in a said upcoming blog. Now that's all great, I appreciate that. We definitely need some more answers, we need some more insight. All of that just reads, hey, don't worry about it, we'll get through this, and it doesn't really do anything to calm anyone's nerves. There's no real answers, but I would assume there's only so much they can say. They're probably being a little bit more reserved on what they're doing, and there's just more to the story we don't know. That being said though, there's things that need to be followed up on. We need to have a better understanding and just a more open communication about what is going on, because to the player base at the moment, there's no real reason for the stress test, the testing, whatever you want to call it, for it to be 8 hours. There's no reason it can't be longer, other than what I can think of that they were worried about player population. Scooby Snacks goes on to say, not as much of a question as a comment, but truth is, we the players are still here because we love Predecessor. That's why we've been trusting the process, as you say, for a year and a half. My only argument here is that Epic Games also trusted the data, and the data betrayed them lethally. Scooby Snacks continues, trust me, I'm your biggest fan. I played in every pre-alpha test Predecessor offered. I have over 2,300 games played. I'm so hooked on this game. Sometimes the data is correct, sometimes you're looking at the wrong data, and you need to trust the players instead. We all want Pred to win. Kari replies with, we do trust our players, we trust you immensely, but you have to understand that you only have an extremely limited view of what's going on. An example is player population. The only data point people have is Steam player count, which is extremely misleading against console data. Kari continues, that's not to say the players are always wrong and that we shouldn't listen to you ever. In fact, we often do, but you must understand that professional game devs generally have the best understanding of how to dev. Our team are rock stars, some of the best in the industry. There is a lack of understanding, as he points out there. We just don't know a whole lot, and she's even pointing it out that there is not a whole lot of information for us on our end, and we need to get that information. Either way, I think week 2 is immensely disappointing. That being said, I'm going to check it out this weekend. Unfortunately, I didn't have a chance to check it out the previous weekend. I'm going to be checking it out this weekend. It's going to be a very interesting queue when I'm first going through. Everyone's pretty much reset to 0, and now there's there's even more players that are going to be able to queue with me, and it's going to be probably just an absolute cluster, and I'm not really looking forward to all of that, but eventually if I can make it out of those lower tiers, it'll be more stable and more fun, and hopefully the competitive experience that everyone's looking for, that I'm looking for. Just have to see. What are you guys thinking of the recent changes? What are you thinking of Predecessor as a whole? What do you want to see ranked, you know, become? What would you change about it? What are you wanting to add? What do you want to ask them, since they're going to be looking for questions and concerns, and they're going to be compiling that into one big blog? I'd be really interested to see what you guys have to say as well. I have plenty of thoughts I'd like to add there. But yeah, guys, that's it. I will catch you soon. Later.